Welcome back to the stash. So, Silent Hill Ascension is here. Unfortunately, we gotta talk about it. Look, I really wanted this to be good, and I'm gonna stay positive when it comes to the story and a few other aspects, alright? Call me an asshole if you want, but you know what? I'm trying to rekindle my childlike sense of wonder, my fucking sense of whimsy, bro. But goddammit, GenVid isn't making it easy. Ascension has been described as an interactive horror television series, and that is an aspect of it. And to be fair, the story is the least of its sins. I'll give it that. But we gotta talk about the bullshit first. And there's a lot of it. So when you first log into Ascension, you are presented with a character creation screen, because this is an RPG, right? Okay, sure. Creation has perhaps the most limited choices I've seen in a very long time. Our fashion options seem to be divorced dad, sexual predator, and aging tour roadie. God, that guy loves Guns N' Roses. But don't worry, you'll unlock more awesome options in the Battle Pass, because that's what Silent Hill was always missing. A Battle Pass. We are truly living in our own capitalist hellscape. Either that, or Alessa is back and punishing us for resurrecting the series. Okay, so Ascension goes live each night. It's 9 p.m. Eastern Time for me. All the viewers can comment on what's happening, interact with certain quick time scenario-esque events, and react in chat with stickers. So for the cool price of $20, my divorced dad of an avatar can say, "It's trauma," when something tragic happens in the episode. Either that, or he's meta-commenting on why we're all still here trusting Konami not to hurt us again, like an emotionally manipulative ex. You can also unlock some awesome customization options for your avatar, like a penciled mustache and goatee, a turtleneck, and a bread emoji, which maybe will totally become a joke we all just don't get yet. Hey, stop crying, you Silent Hill nerds. There's Robbie the Rabbit. Now, at the end of each roughly 8-minute episode, we're presented with 3 options on how we think the scenario presented should resolve. And I have to say, I actually think this part is pretty cool. This is how we all as a community get to decide how the story will play out. Sort of. Which apparently even the devs don't know. Except they had to code and design it all, so I'm sure that's not entirely true, but it sounds really good for marketing. Very mysterious. Now, if you miss episodes, you can catch up and see the story weight of the decision, which is really smart, because some of the decisions don't matter as much for the character as other ones do, so you can see it with these little icons here, which I do think is actually really helpful. I will give them that. Now, you cast your vote with Ascension's in-game currency, influence points. Oh, brother. A currency, you say? Ascension's native currency is influence points, which makes narrative sense to some degree given the format of the series, though I don't know who that casts us, the viewer, as in the story, or if they even thought of that. There's multiple ways to earn this currency, such as simply logging in and watching episodes. You can complete some achievements or daily quests, because I love working another job when I play games, solving different puzzles that they have, and of course, your own wallet. A vote will cost you some of your influence points, and the more points you spend, the more weight your vote carries. Influencing! Gotta love it. So you can get a base amount of these for basically just interacting with the app, which is good, but you can spray paint a turd gold and it doesn't mean it's not shit. And the longer time I spend trying to earn points on this app, the more I smell shit. The puzzles to earn from are fine, I guess. Only one unlocks daily unless you have the Battle Pass. And puzzles were always this unique aspect of Silent Hill games, but those were intrinsic to the story. These feel like time sinks, only created to keep us engaging with the app, and they don't feel connected in any other way than aesthetics and the fact that they maybe somehow affect the character's moods, supposedly, but that is barely explained. And maybe that's just too early to tell and we haven't seen it integrated as much yet. But let's say you do like one of the puzzles a lot. You're locked out by a Battle Pass paywall from advancing any further than the tutorial and mostly the first level of each one. That again, only opens every other day unless you have the Battle Pass. So this is all a very pay-to-win situation. I couldn't even grind really hard on a puzzle that I like to advance in levels if I wanted to. And what does that say about this community that we're building? Even if I work hard and engage with the app constantly, someone can just come and drop $100 and have way more influence than I could. That means the story will ultimately be affected by what mobile gaming apps call their whales. It's the 10% of gamers who are willing to spend thousands of dollars to achieve success in a mobile game. I mean, maybe I'm missing something here, but I doubt it. The incentive to get someone to spend thousands of dollars so they can brag and say they decided a Silent Hill story probably outwardly isn't what Gen Viv want us to think they made, but it's exactly how this app is built. Now, all that aside, let's talk some good points because I do have some okay things to say. Look, I'm not going to be as pessimistic about the story as some other creators are. We all know the Silent Hill stories of the past, and we're here to experience some new ones. And if you're not interested in experiencing new Silent Hill stories, then you simply do not have to engage with new Silent Hill content. These episodes come out every day, so obviously the story is going to be a slow burn. Not every episode can be a defining crazy moment, it's just not good storytelling. Now, I agree, the beginnings of these stories could have been a bit more compelling. They feel a bit generic, but I'm also down to see where they go. There is some intrigue that I'm interested in. However, we are playing heavily on the guilt and trauma thing, as, pointed out by the Battle Pass, so, if you've watched any of my other videos about Silent Hill, you do know how I feel about that trope. But like I said, it's so early, we barely even know what's happening in the story yet. And remember, we have influence over what's happening. So if you don't like what's going on, go fucking influence. As for the animation, it is okay, but it is not as good as I'd hoped. It's definitely not what we see in some of the trailers that we got, which, given it's a horror television show, you'd think that's all we would have is trailer quality animation. Characters don't show barely any emotion and will say pretty intense shit with the straightest face I've ever seen, if their dialogue even matches their mouth movements. And I get that Silent Hill cutscenes have a dreamlike quality, and maybe that's the vibe they were going for, and for some characters like the father, it definitely works. He definitely creeps me out, and I'm intrigued to see what he's up to, but most time it ends up looking really stiff. But what do you guys think? Look, I said it in my Silent Hill Futures video a couple of months ago that I really didn't think Ascension was going to be very good, and I think I still really stand by that. And while I understand this project employs a lot of devs and a lot of artists to work very hard on this project, I have to say, whatever the suits are doing up top, I think Gen Vid has really missed the mark here. This was supposed to be our grand reintroduction to the Silent Hill universe. Really? And if this is an omen of things to come, then things are not looking very good. First impressions are everything, and while I don't feel like I'm exactly catfished by Silent Hill Ascension, I do feel like I kinda swiped right on some pictures of it that were taken a few months ago, if not maybe a few years. However, I am gonna stick it out and update you guys as things progress, and they are progressing pretty rapidly because, to Gen Vid's credits, they are really listening to the community, but I just don't know if we're too far gone to salvage it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to go grind my influence so I can influence.